Your kids can eat when they get home, my dad said, tossing them napkins as my sister's sons unwrapped $72 pasta and cake boxes. Her husband chuckled. Next time, feed them first. I just said, got it. When the waiter came back, I stood up and said, my name is Matthew. I'm 34, the older kid, the reliable one, the one who makes responsible choices. I sell insurance for a living. I like boring things, balanced budgets, clean dashboards, calendars that tell me where to be and when. On paper, I'm fine. Two kids. Evan is 9, Sophie is 6, shared custody, a compact SUV I can fix with my own hands, and a credit score my dad likes to brag about when he needs me to co-sign something just this once. I grew up being the background guy. My sister, Jenna, was the son. She's 2 years younger, prettier, louder, and somehow always in between jobs, while living in better apartments than mine. My parents, Carl and Marie, would act like she was a miracle for remembering to attend a dentist appointment. Me? If I didn't show up to fix the Wi-Fi, I was ungrateful. I used to tell myself it wasn't favoritism, just different expectations. Dad would say, you know your sister's not good with details, while handing me the bill. Mom would add, you're so organized, Maddie. You don't mind. I minded. I just swallowed it. It's dumb, but here's a memory that sticks. I'm 12, Jenna's 10. We're at a school fair. She wins a goldfish and drops the bag. I spend my allowance on a new bowl and food. That night, Dad pats my shoulder. You're a good brother. Jenna falls asleep with the bowl near her bed. Next morning, the fish is floating. Mom sighs at me for setting the bowl too close to the vent. The pattern never changed. If Jenna messed up, someone else should have planned better. Fast forward to last Saturday night, Dad's birthday. A sit-down place with white tablecloths and a menu that makes you Google half the words. He picked it because you only turn 61 once, which is true, but also because Jenna dropped hints like anvils. She wanted to post photos somewhere fancy. We took a big corner table. Me, my kids, my ex-wife Erin, were civil, my parents, Jenna, and her husband, Chuck. The waiter placed heavy water glasses. The room smelled like butter and wine. Get whatever, Dad said, flipping the menu. It's a celebration. I looked at the prices and did silent math. It's a reflex now. Sophie leaned into me. Can I have the pasta with the twirls? Pappardelle, I said. We'll see, kiddo. Jenna waved the waiter like she owned the place. 2 truffle pastas. Extra mushrooms. And the lemon cake to go, she added, tapping her nails on the phone case I'd bought her last Christmas because she said hers accidentally cracked. When the food came, the first dish with the shaved truffles landed in front of Jenna. The second went to Chuck. 2 fancy white boxes followed and got set by their elbows. My kids stared. The boxes smelled like a bakery. Sophie whispered, is one for us? Jenna laughed. These are for the boys later, meaning her sons, who weren't even there. They get picky. Evan looked at me like he wanted to shrink into the chair. I felt the old heat in my chest. Then Dad did the thing he does when he wants to be funny and ends up cruel. He flicked 2 napkins toward my kids like dealing cards. Your kids can eat when they get home, he said, grinning. No need to fill them with overpriced noodles. The napkins landed by Sophie's wrist. Chuck chuckled. Next time, feed them first, brother. I said, got it. And when the waiter came back to ask if we needed anything else, I stood up. My chair legs scraped the floor. Everyone looked at me. That was the first crack. I didn't become the responsible one on purpose. It happened the way water finds the lowest point. In every crisis, the question was, where's Matthew? Followed by, he'll handle it. At 17, I was the driver who picked Jenna up at midnight from a party because she couldn't call Mom. At 19, I was the one who transferred $220 to Dad when his debit card glitched at a gas station 2 towns over. By 24, I was an insurance agent with a tidy desk, 2 monitors, and a steady voice for people on their worst days. I got good at details because my life demanded it. I learned the policy codes, the fine print, how to make bad news clear and survivable. Jenna learned something too, that I'd say yes if she framed her issue as urgent and family. The landlord needs it by noon. The tow truck won't release my car without a card on file. The daycare late fee is insane. The amounts were never huge at first, $68, $120, $185, but they stacked like bricks. Every time I tried to put one down, another landed. When Erin and I got married, Mom said, don't invite too many people. Weddings are expensive. She still cried because the flowers were too simple. On our wedding day, Jenna arrived late, took the centerpiece from the head table for an after party, and posted it like she bought it herself. After we paid deposits, my parents paid what they could, which turned out to be $0, and then joked for years about how we helped you too start your life. I let them. When Evan was born, Dad said, "Congrats. Boys are expensive." The first night home from the hospital, Jenna called me in tears because she couldn't figure out her new car seat. I went over and installed it. She Venmo requested me for the pizza I ate while I was there. $13.74. I accepted the charge and told myself it wasn't about the pizza. It never is. It's about the scoreboard my parents keep invisible except when they flash it at me. By the time Sophie arrived, Aaron and I were wobbling. Not because of the kids, but because I was always on call for my clients, my parents, my sister. If Dad's water heater broke, I was there. If Mom's phone updated and logged her out of Facebook, I was there. If Jenna forgot to renew her car insurance, yes, the irony. I wrote a binder at 10 p.m. and drove across town. Aaron would say, "Can we have one evening where we're just us?" I'd answer, "It's family." Like that was a spell. It wasn't a spell. It was a wedge. Money turned into the language of love at our house. Dad loved when I covered checks because you make more than teachers, as if Aaron's job didn't count or my income was community property for 4 adults. Jenna loved when I fronted deposits with no return date. Mom loved telling relatives that Matthew is doing well, and then listing items they thought I'd bought them. The washer, the iPad, the weekend at the cabin. I bought those things because keeping the peace became cheaper than the fight. Except it wasn't cheap. It cost my marriage. It cost my self-respect. The divorce 2 years ago was clean on paper. No dramatic secrets. No affairs. Just erosion. Aaron cried. I didn't. I was too tired. We split custody 50-50ths. We share calendars. We're decent. She still invites me to the kids' school nights if it falls on my off week. I show up with snacks and stay until the folding chairs make my back ache. My parents framed the divorce as my failure to keep a woman happy, but also as my success because I stepped up financially. They said both things in the same breath. Jenna repeated them like scripture. Aaron is great, but, she wanted more. Then she'd text, "Can you send $200? The boys' soccer uniforms are double what I expected." There were numbers that started tattooing themselves into my memory. $4,380. The total I zelled across 6 months for emergencies. $612. The biggest restaurant bill I paid after Dad slapped the table and said, "Put your card down, big man." 74 missed calls in a day when Jenna lost her wallet and then found it in the freezer. 9. The age Evan was when he asked, "Do we always pay for Aunt Jenna?" I said, "No," but I didn't believe myself. The night before Dad's birthday dinner, Mom called with that warm voice she uses when she's about to volunteer me for something. "Baby, your father wants to feel special. He's turning 61, Mom. We'll show up. It's at La Belle. Very European." She stretched the word like taffy. "We'll do gifts later to keep costs down." "Okay," I said, already knowing I'd be the gift. Aaron texted me separately. "Is this the place with the $29 side salads?" "Yep. I'll bring granola bars for the kids." "Thank you." "Boundaries," she wrote. "Practice them." "I'll try." She sent a thumbs up, then a heart. At dinner, the scripts clicked into place. Dad told stories about his hustle in the 90s. Mom asked the waiter for the manager's discount, then laughed like it was a joke. Jenna made big eyes at the dessert case. Chuck grinned at everything. That grin of somebody who never pays and never thinks about who does. Then came the boxes. 2 neat white cardboard squares with gold string. $72 for truffle pasta and $10 a slice for lemon cake. To go. The waiter set them by Jenna and Chuck. My kids watched like kids do when sugar is within arm's reach. My stomach tightened because I could hear the gears turning. Dad likes to guide children's appetites by lecturing their parents. He looked at me. "Your kids can eat when they get home." The napkins flew. "Next time, feed them first," Chuck added. The table chuckled. Mom did the Matthew knows we're just joking face. Inside my head, a door clicked shut. It wasn't the price. It was the message, loud and clean. Your kids are less. Your needs come later. Your place is to provide, not to ask. I didn't argue. I didn't lash out. I did what I've trained myself to do for years. I observed the scene like a claim. Facts, timing, damage, coverage. I reminded myself to breathe. Then the waiter returned with the little leather book and a pen tucked like a toothpick. "Anything else right now?" he asked lightly. I stood up. "Yes." The table went quiet in that slow, embarrassed way when people sense a speech. I wasn't going to make a speech. I was going to make a boundary. Could we split checks by household? I asked the waiter. One for my parents. One for Jenna and Chuck. One for me and my kids. My voice was calm, almost boring. Jenna blinked fast. What? Dad laughed like I'd told a good one. Sit down, bud. You put your card down. We'll Venmo later. No, I said. We're going to split it now. Chuck smirked. Dude, don't be tacky. Aaron reached for Sophie's hand under the table. She didn't say anything. She didn't have to. The waiter looked at me like he'd seen this movie. Of course, I can itemize. Dad leaned back and crossed his arms. Since when? Since tonight, I said. Mom's smile tightened. Matthew, don't make a scene for your father's birthday. I'm not making a scene, I said. I'm making a choice. Jenna's eyes cut to the boxes beside her elbow. Are you serious right now? These are for the boys. I caught that, I said. They're hungry, she insisted. They're not here, I said, and I hated how steady my voice was, like I'd practiced it in the mirror. Maybe I had, in different words, for years. Dad drummed his fingers. Don't punish your sister for being prepared. Prepared, I said. She ordered $72 of pasta and boxed it while my kids were told to eat at home. That was a joke, Mom said quickly. Your father was teasing. Sophie looked up at me. Evan stared at his water like it could teleport him. The waiter cleared his throat. I can take cards now and work on the split. Here, Jenna said, shoving the leather book toward me. Just do it and send requests. You're better at that stuff. I didn't touch it. No. The word hung there. It wasn't loud. It was heavy. The kind of no that stops time because it doesn't need explanation. Dad leaned in, voice low. You're embarrassing your family. I leaned in the same amount, matched his tone. My family is these too, I said, nodding at my kids. And they're not an embarrassment. Chuck snorted. Drama. Chuck, Aaron said, her first word all night. Stop. He shrugged. Just saying. I turned back to the waiter. Can you also add 2 kids' pastas to our side? Plain. Butter. No truffle anything. Absolutely, he said. Dad slammed his palm lightly on the table. Not enough to make noise, just enough to declare authority. You don't tell us how to spend our money. I'm not, I said. I'm telling you how I'm going to spend mine. Mom tried soft. Matthew, honey, be reasonable. I am reasonable, I said. Reasonable is not paying for everyone and being told my kids can eat later. Jenna rolled her eyes. Oh my God, it's pasta. It's respect, I said. The waiter hovered, sensing the tide. Should I come back? 1 minute, I told him, then faced my parents. I'll keep it simple so there's no confusion. Dad opened his mouth. I held up a hand. He closed it. That never happens. That's how I knew I'd already left something behind. I've covered a lot of checks, I said. I've co-signed a credit card I'm still getting statements for. I paid your overdue property tax last winter because Mom called me crying. I covered Jenna's toe. I put down deposits. I get it. I make decent money. I'm an insurance agent, not a charity. I'm not your emergency fund. No one said you were, Mom snapped. You didn't have to, I said. Jenna folded her arms. So tonight you want a medal for ordering noodles. I want a boundary, I said. And I'm drawing it right now, in public, because in private you pretend not to hear me. Dad's cheek twitched. This isn't about noodles. You're right, I said. Chuck laughed once, like a cough. Closure? Did someone die? A version of me did, I said. Aaron's hand squeezed Sophie's. Evan looked up at me with something like relief and fear mixed together. The waiter returned with a pen. I'll split those checks, he said quietly. Thank you, I said, and handed him my card. Dad's voice chased him. We're not doing this. You don't have to like it, I said. You just have to live with it. Jenna whispered to Mom. Too loud. He's really doing this. Mom whispered back. Not tonight. Dad murmured. He'll cave. He didn't know me anymore. Or maybe he never did. The kids' pastas came quick. The kitchen had seen this movie too. Butter, salt, a flurry of Parmesan. Sophie smiled. Evan said, Thanks, Dad. You're welcome, I said, and ate my own food with a calm I didn't feel. When the checkbooks returned, I signed mine. $74.58 with tip. Reasonable for a fancy place. Dad didn't reach for his. He slid it closer to me with one finger like a dare. Last chance. No, I said. Stood, helped Sophie with her jacket, reminded Evan about his hat. Aaron stood too. We'd driven separately, but she hovered like a shield for the kids. You're walking out on your father's birthday, Mom said. I'm walking out with my children, I said. We'll call to say happy birthday tomorrow. You'll regret this, Dad said. I used to think that, I said. Turns out, I regret all the times I didn't do it sooner. I put a hand on Evan's shoulder, a hand on Sophie's back, and we left. The door whooshed behind us. The night air was sharp. It felt like someone had finally opened a window in a stale room. In the car, Sophie swung her legs. Are we in trouble? No, I said, buckling her in. We're in a news story. News stories don't start clean. They start with noise. Sunday morning, my phone looked like a siren. 32 texts, 18 missed calls, 11 voicemails. The family group chat had gone from dinner at 6 to Matthew to how could you in under 12 hours? I didn't answer right away. I made pancakes. Evan measured flour with the seriousness of a bomb tech. Sophie whisked. We ate in our pajamas. The house felt different. Not safer, not yet, but honest. At 10:17 a.m., Mom called again. I picked up. Matthew, she said without hello, your father didn't sleep. I did, I said. You humiliated him. I split a check. You made a scene. I set a boundary. She inhaled, long, practiced. You've always loved making everything about you. I looked at the Lego on the floor, at the science kit on the counter. Last night wasn't about me. It was about my kids. They weren't hungry, she said. They were told to wait while other kids got boxes, I said. By their grandfather. On purpose. That was a joke, she said again. Like if she repeated it enough, it would be true. Not for them. She changed tactics. You know your sister struggles. She's trying. Chuck's job is unstable. So is everyone's, I said. I'm not their employer. Family helps family, she said. Family respects family, I said. Your father wants you to apologize, she said. I won't, I said. Silence. Then, he wants his Costco card back. I almost laughed. The one I got him under my account because his bounced for non-payment? Sure. I'll cancel it this afternoon. I heard her short breath. Surprise. She hadn't expected me to agree. There's no need to be vindictive, she said. I'm not, I said. I'm being consistent. She switched to soft. We miss you, baby. You miss my wallet, I said before I could file the words down. It wasn't kind. It was true. She hung up. At noon, Dad texted, you embarrassed your mother. Then, be a man and take responsibility. Then, don't come by until you can behave. Then, in the same minute, bring over the pressure washer when you can. The siding is green. I stared at the thread. I didn't reply. Erin sent a message. You okay? I said, we're fine. She wrote, kids felt protected. Then a second later, proud of you. I put the phone down and let the words sit. Jenna found her megaphone by evening. She posted a photo of Dad's untouched dessert with a caption, nothing like birthday drama from people who make everything a crisis. A few of her friends commented hearts and you're so strong, and family is hard. I didn't engage. I have learned the hard way that arguing on the internet is like screaming into a blender. Monday morning, a long message from Jenna. No greeting, just paragraphs. You made Mom cry. Chuck said you were aggressive to the waiter. I wasn't. Dad is reconsidering helping with my boys. Help how? Money isn't everything, Matt. Also, can you send $150 for school pictures? They sprung it on me. I typed and erased 100 responses. I ended with, no. She wrote back instantly, wow. Another bubble. So that's how it's going to be? Yes, I wrote. At 2:11 p.m., Dad called while I was with a client. I sent it to voicemail and listened later in the car. You owe me respect, he said. You'll apologize to your mother for your tone. You'll admit you overreacted. And you'll put the family first again. 15 seconds of breathing. Then, quieter, like he forgot he was recording. He's not like us. I deleted the voicemail. I didn't want to memorize it. Small, petty things started happening. The Netflix I pay for got signed out at my parents' house and changed to Dad's old email. The Costco account pinged a failed transaction. Someone tried to reset my Amazon password at 3:07 a.m. My Ring camera captured Dad stepping onto my porch, then stepping back without knocking. I watched the clip and felt nothing I expected to feel. Not rage, not fear, just a long, clean line. Enough. By Wednesday, the extended family weighed in. Aunt Trish texted, I always thought you were a good boy. Uncle Marco called and ranted about disrespect and old school values. My cousin Lily sent a single message, proud of you. Been there. I saved that one. Boundary maintenance turned into actual work. I made a list in notes. Cancel Costco subcards. Remove Dad's old card from my Apple Wallet. Why was it even there? Audit subscriptions. Hulu, Disney Plus, Spotify. Freeze the joint savings account Dad insisted on for emergencies 5 years ago because we're a team. There was $31 in it. He'd withdrawn every emergency as cash. I sat at my kitchen table with bank tabs open and a cup of coffee that went cold twice. It felt like closing 100 tiny leaks in a boat while still believing there's land somewhere. Erin came by to pick up the kids. She looked at the lists. You need help? I got it, I said. She tilted her head. You always say that. I mean it this time. She studied my face, then nodded. Okay. Thursday night, a new number called. I answered and a man with a voice like gravel said, Mr. Hale? This is Dale from Mid-County Towing. We have a Honda Civic registered to a Jennifer Hale on hold. She said you're the secondary on the card. There it was. The old life knocking. I'm not, I said. Release it or don't. I won't be paying. A pause. Understood. He added, almost kindly, she's yelling at my guys. I'll figure it out. I'm sorry, I said. 2 words I hadn't said to myself in a long time. Friday, Dad sent a group text to me and Jenna. Family meeting. Sunday, noon. No excuses. I looked at it for a long minute and typed. No, he wrote back. You don't say no to your father. I wrote. I just did. No reply. Saturday, we did something small and huge. I took the kids to the park with sandwiches and apples. No schedule, no errands after. Evan tried the monkey bars. Sophie fell and laughed. We stayed until the sun made long shadows, and my phone stayed face down in my pocket on Do Not Disturb. I don't remember the last time I did that, and didn't feel like I was going to get yelled at for it. The world didn't end. No one died. The sky stayed where it was. Sunday morning, I got one more call I didn't expect. Grandma Joan. She's 84 and has seen every family storm. You made your granddad do this once, she said. He told his brothers no more borrowing tools they never returned. They called him selfish. He slept better after. I laughed. You always liked me better. I always saw you clearer, she said. Eat. Sleep. Keep going. Okay. Bring the kids for cookies later, she said. I'll tell you which cousins owe me money. We went. She did. It was oddly healing to hear debts said out loud with a smile. At least they pay in stories, she said. You don't have to. By Monday, the message changed. Less rage, more negotiation. Mom texted, we can talk if you apologize. Jenna wrote, fine, I don't need you. Then, but can you send $60? The school picture add-on, I didn't respond. Tuesday night, 11:43 p.m., my doorbell rang twice. The Ring camera lit up Dad's face, red-cheeked, jaw set. I watched him on my phone instead of going downstairs. He rang again, then pounded once. He stepped back and looked into the camera. When I didn't open, he said to the empty porch, you want to be alone? Fine. Be alone. He walked away. The porch light clicked off on its timer. It felt like an ending. It also felt like the only beginning that was ever going to work. I slept deeply for the first time in months. I dreamed of a quiet room with no one asking me for my wallet. In the morning, I made coffee and didn't check my phone first. I wish I could say they stopped. They didn't. But they got quieter. Every no built a wall where there used to be a revolving door. Every no taught my kids something I should have taught them earlier. We don't buy love. We build it. By the second week, the house felt different. My own voice sounded different. Evan asked, carefully, are we still going to Grandpa's on Sundays? I said, not for a little while. He nodded like he'd already thought that through. Sophie asked, do they hate us? I said, no, they're just learning our rules. What are our rules? She asked. I said them out loud to hear them ring. We eat when we're hungry. We say please and thank you. We don't make people small to make ourselves big. We don't buy cake for people who aren't at the table while telling people at the table to wait. She grinned. So we buy cake for us. Sometimes, I said. After dinner. That night, we did. Closure looks ordinary. Alarms that get you up, an inbox that doesn't spike your pulse, a budget that tells the truth, Sundays where no one summons you. I didn't write a manifesto or stage a holiday fight. I just kept showing up for the people I'm responsible for and stopped showing up for the ones who think I am. Dad's last voicemail. You think you're better than us. I deleted it. Not better, done. Mom tries. Your father misses you, you used to fix things. I know, I say. That was the problem. Jenna still texts urgent. I still reply no. Then come the LOL wow. The screenshots, the you're heartless, the can you at least. Same answer. No lectures, no lists, no receipts. Short sentences saved me. Work got easier. I have more patience for strangers than for old demands. Boundaries don't harden you. They put your softness where it belongs. Evan asked, did Grandpa always make you pay? He made me feel like I should. I don't want to feel like that. You won't. Not for me. Sophie drew the restaurant. Boxes on one side, us on the other, a big and O between. It's on the fridge beside the dentist reminder. Both matter. Closure isn't a slam. It's a door settling into the frame, the click of a lock you hold, Silence where excuses used to be. I don't hate them. I don't want revenge. I'm not a safety net or second wallet. I'm a dad who won't let anyone toss napkins at his kids and call it love. So here it is, plain. I won't pay for respect I don't get, turn my skills into a leash, or explain no to people who build a life on me not using it. I'm building something small and mine. Pancakes on Sunday, homework Tuesday, soccer Thursday. It sounds like, thanks, Dad, and I got it. It costs less and gives more. Family isn't never saying no. It's saying no so you can say yes to the right things. Picture a table where everyone eating is sitting at it. Scene. Federal belonging. That's the only bill I'll pay.